We're pleased to see a whole group of young people from Central AME Church, ZME Church. It's the club for drama and poetry, and Miss Holt has brought about 10 or 11 young people from the church. We're going to run. Welcome to come back again. The program will run like this today. We don't have the caterer today, so we'll have coffee and tea and donuts. Just make your own instant coffee or brew your tea. Take a donut, it's free. You're not charging. That'll be during the intermission. At the end of before the intermission, we'll have the drawing for door prizes. Then there'll be a short intermission, and Wardell Montgomery will read the second part of the program. There are a number of announcements. A whole lot of things are going on at this time. Down at Hart Plaza is the Latin American Festival. I was there Friday when it opened. It's great. You'll enjoy the music, the dancing, the ethnic foods. On Friday, May the 6th, at Showcase One Club at 74 East Columbia, there's a music and poetry reading to raise funds for the defense of Ali Muhammad. Aaron Ibn Pitts was one of the poets, and there will be other poets. Friday, May the 6th. The Michigan Poetry Festival will be held May 13th, 14th, and 15th at the Book Cadillac Hotel. Everybody is invited. Phil Levine, a native of Detroit, who has won 2 major awards for his poetry, will be the featured poet. Also, the widow of Jack Kerouac, one of the original Beats, will be there Sunday to reminisce about her husband and about her acquaintance with the Beatniks in the 50s and 60s. Also, during the Poetry Festival, the winners of the Poet Laureate Youth Awards will read their poems. This is for the benefit of school children in Detroit. There'll be 3 prizes of $25 each given for 3 poets in elementary school, 3 poets in middle school, and 3 poets in high school. The winning poets will read their poems May 13th, Friday, at the Book Cadillac Hotel during the festival. The way to get in the contest is to write a poem 16 lines or shorter. Write your name, address, age, grade, school, and your teacher's name, and send it or bring it to the Detroit Council of the Arts, 47 East Adams, by May the 5th. Our next reader, the first Sunday in June the 5th, will be Hilda Best, author of Lyrics 1, June the 5th. Our reader today is Wardell Montgomery, and he'll be introduced by Stella Cruz. Stella here? Oh, right.
Wardell Montgomery is no stranger to the podium. He was first formally introduced to poetry in 1964 as a member of the Poetry Society of Michigan. That's where he first met Dudley Randolph and Naomi Long Madgett, and thus began his career in poetry. He was director of Rocker House in the early 60s to 1970s. That's where he was publisher and editor for Identity Magazine. Also during that time at Rocker House, he put out 2 anthologies of black poetry in which he appeared, Cataclysmic and Get It Up, Set It Out. In 1963-64, he attended Ferris State College, where he attended classes in printing techniques and small press operations. He also edited their school poetry magazine. He lived in New York City from 1975 to 1978, and of course, did a lot of work in poetry. While there, he was affiliated with the Theater of Universal Images out of Newark, New Jersey, Poetential, spelled P-O-E-T-T-I-N-T-I-A-L, Poetential Theater of Harlem, and with the Frank Filvera Writers Workshop. More recently, he's worked with the Frieza Theater and was published in the anthology Literary Jukebox in 1981. He's also published this year in Poet Detroit. He's a co-organizer of HIP, Horizons in Poetry, which features local poets every second Wednesday of the month down at Cobb's Corner and Cass Corridor. This may sound a bit like an ad spot for HIP, but Dudley Randall is the featured poet for the next session of HIP. Wardell was recently on Channel 62 on a program, The Morning Report, with Nikki Giovanni discussing poetry. And as I said before, he's always been active and supportive of poetry in many, many forms. He's no stranger to the podium. I'll give you Wardell Montgomery.
Thank you very much, Tyler, for that beautiful introduction. What I'd like to start off with is to let you hear one of the songs that I wrote. And in the course of the program, I'll probably play a couple of songs. A lot of my poetry has become lyrical. And so we get an indication in terms of how the poem can sort of like transfer into a song. This one is called I Meant Every Word. I'll recite the poem first, and then you'll do it just in reverse. I meant every word. You are down and out. Please, don't be disturbed. When I said I love you, I meant every word. You are sick and no longer have your health. You are poor and no longer have your wealth. I'm not in love with the things that money can buy. I'm in love with you, baby, and that's no lie. And that's the way it will always be. I'll do what I can to make you happy. What good are diamonds, silver, or gold if I don't have you in my arms to hold? And what good is life and all of its pleasures if I don't have you? I would have no treasures. Darling, indeed I pray that you will recover. But even if you don't, still, there would be no other. Even if you never earned one red cent, I wouldn't regret this life you spent. When I said I would love you in sickness and in health, for richer or poor, I meant every word that day. And today, I mean it even more. Yes, you are down and out. Please, don't be disturbed. When I said I love you, I meant every word. This record was part of a workshop project when I was in Rapper House a few years ago. And the group singing is called the Burnett Sisters. And this came out of part of our experimental workshop where we had poets, singers, dancers, musicians to all participate in that. And the songs and poems in the record were done by people in the workshop. Thank you so much.
You are down and out. Please.
Sing.
I'll be
published a couple of years ago in a magazine called the Literary Jukebox. That was many of us who were part of the Freezer Theater. And I call this one, Give the Poet a Chance. Don't leave me and we can have such a beautiful romance. Baby, please, I'm begging you. Give the poet a chance. A poet's life is usually hard, trying to survive by poetic wits. The struggle is oh so great that most of them call it quits. Words and thoughts flow through my mind in daytime and at night, telling me that I must use my talent and urging me to write. They want you to do your act without me, saying I'm only in your way. Looking out for number one seems to be the trend of the day. Sure, you'll make money stripping your clothes and your pride, doing their naughty song and dance. But our combined talents create a classic, decent act. It'll work, baby. Just give the poet a chance. You don't just sing and dance, and I don't just write idle words that rhyme. Together we present entertainment as well as positive thoughts for the mind. Mass media and big record companies make it hard for struggling poets and even songwriters to get off the ground. After all the hard work we did together, building our very special act, now you want to give up on us and let me down? Some fancy clothes, a house, and a brand new car changed many a fine lady to a common stripper at a cheap bar. Baby, I know it's rough out here, trying to do our special show together. I know we need the bucks, but deep down inside, a decent show will make us both feel better. I don't want you out there because you have too much class, and I love you. It's not an original line, but baby, the feeling is so true. We can work regular jobs, save our money, and promote our own show. It's going to be hard, but this is too big of a chance to blow. It's over if you leave me to do their naughty song and dance. All I really want you to do is to love me and give the poet a chance. This poem I wrote while I was living in New York. And I'm sure you heard about the son of Sam murders, the man who killed several women. And this one I tried to get into the situation of what a husband might be going through in terms of this kind of a situation. And I call this one, Most of the People Around Here Are Really Nice. Most of the people around here are really nice. I told my wife, by holding her tightly, holding her hand tightly, clinging to mine. Most of the people around here are really nice. I told my wife, wiping tears from her saddened, sunken eyes. Most of the people around here are really nice. I told my wife as she held me and hugged me with a strong, death grip. Most of the people around here are really nice. I told my wife as they placed her severely beaten body on the stretcher. Most of the people around here are really nice. I told my wife as I rearranged the flowers by her casket. Most of the people around here are really nice. I told my wife whose ghostly image appeared before me. She said, let not what happened to my body happen to your mind. I'm at peace now. Most of the spirits around here are really nice. This poem came about as I attended a seminar a couple of years ago at my church, and then a few months later I had a dream about a child who was being brutalized. And the poem is sort of a combination of that seminar experience and this dream. And the dream that I had was about a family where this situation had actually taken place. And I called this A Suit of Teens. My childhood friends all chipped in and bought me a beautiful suit of tan. Now this kid's burdens will be lighter, and my gloomy outlook will be brighter. Now I can fight off scary, gruesome, twosome when they try to hurt me. Now they can't put their hands on me. I won't have to beg and scream for mercy. It's so hard for a kid to protect himself from his closest kin. This battle with mom and dad is so very hard to win. They can't burn me in my suit of tin. They can't scald me in my suit of tin. They can't cut me in my suit of tin. They can't beat me in my suit of tin. But it's so hard to sleep or take a bath in a suit of tin. I must find a way to bring this battle to an end. I still try to love them. They still try to hurt me. They got mad when I asked them, is there a difference between love and brutality? The only way I can win is to turn my brutal parents in. I would be better off being raised by a rooster and a hen than by my folks who say they love me and I have to wear a suit of tin. The next two poems are some of my recent work. Write him off. Baby, stop crying and feeling sorry for yourself over and over again. Pick up a piece of chalk, crayon, pencil, or pen and write him off, baby. Write him off. Before it's too late, write him off. I know you love him and you think he needs your help, but he will destroy you and you won't even be able to help yourself. His problems are bigger than both of you, and you need help if you think you can help him. You may not know it, but he's programmed to self-destruct. I know he needs love, and he needs our prayers. He's a walking time bomb. He needs professional help. When he gets through with you, you'll be no good to help anyone. You won't even be able to help yourself. It makes no difference if you're dealing with a lover or a friend, a woman or a man, a stranger or the very closest kin. If they are destroying you over and over again, pick up a piece of chalk, crayon, pencil, or pen and write them off, baby. Write them off. Before it's too late, write them off. For the birds. Their family name is Bird, and they are like birds. They don't have wings, feathers, or webbed feet, but they sing, chirp, and make pleasant sounds when they're happy and not hungry. They are like birds. They flock together and look out for each other, and they are friendly when the weather is nice and mild. They are like birds. When the weather is bitter cold, their feathers get ruffled easily, and they sing no sweet songs. You wouldn't believe they were family or even friends as they fought tooth, nail, and claw over a slice of stale bread as if it were a loaf of gold. They are like birds. If things get worse, they will be locked up in a cage, shot, or just left to starve. They have to settle for crumbs because they have no dough. They can't make any bread. The wintry, warlike hawk was so mean and bitter that it bit the peace-loving dove who brought the bird family a free airline pass to a warm climate. They are like birds. They flew south. And also, these next two are some recent words.
talk is cheap. I could promise that I could thrill you all night long, knowing I might fall asleep before you start to moan. I could promise to get you out of debt, but I'm not making a decent living yet. I could promise to show you how to stop smoking, but then you would be thinking, how come I can't stop myself from doing too much drinking? I could promise that I could give you peace of mind, but I'm searching desperately for happiness I hope to find. I could make you lots of promises, but I won't be able to keep. Why should I trip on my ego and fool no one? Talk is cheap. I've been thinking positively. I've set some realistic goals. I'll climb the ladder of success one step at a time. Do you feel the chemistry I feel? Do we have enough basic ideals in common? Do you think I'll give you space to grow? Do your future plans coincide with mine? Before we make any vows that we promise to keep, remember this: silence is golden, talk is cheap. Thank you very much. I won't ask for 5 volunteers on the next one. It's called 5 Sexy Women. I didn't want all the women to run up here a woman.
3, 4.
I see you grow. Oh, here they come too. And that's all I'm going to ask for. And you'll understand when I read the rest of the poem. 5 sexy women. You have to write more poems like this one. I see you grow, the 5 sexy women, and the 2 handsome waiters. You brought my favorite bottle of imported vintage wine, and you brought the hippest snack in town. Wow, round-trip tickets to Vegas and Atlantic City, the keys to your rented limousine, and your private luxury apartment. Your mama made a whole apple pie just for me. You know my every weakness, don't you? Last time I accepted all your gifts and had great fun and signed your contract. And as you promised, I got a gold record. But you got the gold. You said I was paid in advance and that I owed you money. You said that's show business. I learned my lesson. Too much show, not enough business. The people in the know say that my new song sounds like gold. My lawyer will talk with your lawyer, and we will both get our fair share. Nothing more, nothing less, or no deal. I refuse to lose my soul trying to get a record of gold. It's going to be hard to resist, but you may keep your mama's delicious apple pie, the keys to your rented limousine and your private luxury apartment, the round-trip tickets to Vegas or Atlantic City, the hippest back in town, my favorite bottle of imported vintage wine, the 2 handsome weightlifters, and the 5 sexy women. Thank you very much. Harass me not. I gave my wife a new fragrance and perfume today. It's not that I'm jealous. She prefers it this way. This delicate aroma is called harass me not. When her boss comes too close, it makes him stop. Harass me not is pleasant and mild. It's not the sex to drive a sexy boss wild. It goes well with her sensible makeup, hairdo, and proper office attire. She knows her job and does it well. She does not yield to his desire. He's been reported by 3 secretaries before, but it's the women who lose their job, being thrown out the door. If I go down there and make a scene, my wife will be fired for having a husband so tough and mean. But if she places this special perfume on her desk, harass me not is guaranteed to keep a waitress test. Next to it, she has a picture of me wearing an awful frown, letting her boss know that I know he's an office sex hound. She likes her work and wants to stay, so we have to embarrass her boss this way. She's ambitious, but a respectable lady, trying to reach her career goal, who knows how to love her husband, and we don't get mixed up about her role. Now, if he's smart enough to be her boss, he shouldn't be dumb enough to try to cross a loving husband who's telling him tactfully to stop by giving his wife a perfume with such a label as harass me not. The rich man chose Raggedy Ann. The wealthy people can't understand why the rich man chose Raggedy Ann. When he was poor, the pretty girls in high society wouldn't give him a grade. They wouldn't let him sing for free. But Raggedy Ann was always doing something for the community. She said, "Man, you have talent. Won't you sing for me?" While he was away struggling, she wrote words of encouragement in every letter, telling him to use his talent, and the singing would get better. When discouragement and defeat was all he heard, Raggedy Ann spoke an encouraging word. She was plain, raggedy, and simple. Her only beauty mark was a dimple, but she had a way of making big problems minute. To him, Raggedy Ann was so homely till she was cute. He always loved her, and that no one can dispute. When he was 5 and she was 3, he made her a rag doll. She said, "Thanks, it looks just like me." She loved that rag doll and called it her baby and said, "One day, I'll be your wife, maybe." Ever since he was 5 and she was 3, they worked hard to make each other happy. Now he's won the battle over poverty that he fought, aided by Raggedy Ann, armed with positive thought. Now he has arrived to fortune and fame and chose Raggedy Ann to share his name. She's gonna march down the aisle looking her very best, and for the first time in her life, she'll be wearing a brand new dress. Thank you. $. Don't show me your grocery bill when I ain't had nothing to eat. Then tell me your kids need new shoes and I'm walking around with bare feet. Can't be buying you no new clothes when my only suit is all filled with holes. Sure, you look good in that new hat. For that high price, it looks better on the rack. I'd rather be sitting at home, digging some cool jazz, than be riding your fancy car that eats and drinks gas. It's not that I'm cheap or some kind of a creep, but baby, I just can't afford your upkeep. You live above your means, and now you feel the crunch. But if you think you're gonna feed off my ego, honey, you off to lunch. I thought your good loving was gonna ease my mind. I didn't know you were born under the dollar sign. I remember when a sexy chick like you kissed me and called me honey. I would get so excited and immediately set out the money. But now, work is slow, and woman, you are fast. Inflation has caught up with me. I've run out of gas. And then finally, for this segment, I like to do a poem that I call Give Me Back My Mind. You're laughing at me, but it's not funny. You got everything I own, all my money. I wanted to give you something that money can't buy. I wanted to give you love that you couldn't deny. In your quest for material things, you missed the happiness only true love brings. I gave you my love, and you let it decay. I gave you my heart, and you tossed it away. Darling, you don't know how much this would upset me by trying to give you love, and you wouldn't let me. You were evil, cruel, and so unkind, till I began to give you a piece of my mind, until I gave it all to you. Give it back. It's the least you can do. It hurts, but it's so plain to see. But all you wanted was my money. For what good is money, a house, or a car, if I don't even know what they are? What good is a signpost without a sign? And how strong is an elephant without a spine? And me, baby, what good am I without my mind? Now they have me under lock and key. Give me back my mind so they can release me. You can keep the house, the car, and my very last dime. But I'm begging and pleading, just give me back my mind. Okay, we're going to have a drawing now. Here's Dudley Randall.
I hope everybody has the music stuff. We're going to Wardell is going to do the drawing, but first I'll tell you the prizes. Wardell has generously donated his brown bag of poetry. We have one here. Poetry is my bag. This will be the first prize. The second prize, Wardell has also donated.
Poetry and short anthology, local poet. I have 2 poetries collected myself.
Third prize, and the other prizes will be books which we have, which were temporarily out of stock, and now they have been reprinted. This is a capsule course in black poetry writing, edited by Gwendolyn Brooks, South African poet Willie Kosi Seeley, Don Lee, and Dudley Riley. All of you beginning poets will find this a very valuable book. That's the third prize. The fourth prize is Black Feeling, Black Talk by Nikki Giovanni. It's been out of stock. We haven't reprinted. This was her first book. The next one is It's a New Day by Sonia Sanchez. A book of children's poems. And then the last one is After the Killing by Dudley Riley. This contains a poem, Green Apples. What can you do with a woman under 30? So if you win this book, you can find out what you can do with a woman under 30. And a short break.
$18.41. My grandmother, how about that?
Wardell's grandmother, Wardell, this looks kind of funny. Mother dear?
My mother's next to my grandmother, and my father's next to my mother. So I guess most of the women next to each other.
We want this to be honest.
I'll take my glass off, you know I can't see. $10.76. $10.76 going twice. I'm sorry. Uh-oh. I better make sure I have my glasses on. $10.78. I wasn't kidding.
Hey!
Okay.
Come on up.
The third one, tattoo course in black poetry, writing.
$18.46. Oh no! My brother's also quite a fine poet, too. Cooler than moves.
Shy, you come up and shake this.
$18.48. I was going to say that.
I always win when I come.
Come on. Oh, the very fine poet. $18.24.
The next one is the book that contains green apples. What can you do?
$18.44.
Wait a minute. Are you under 30? Are you under 30? Read the poem on page 15. Thank you very much. There are refreshments, coffee, tea, donuts, and cheesecake. They're free. What?
Cheesecake is 50 cents, Debbie. Everything
Cheesecake
else
is 50 cents, donuts, coffee, tea are free, so help yourself. Here's the book table, and at the start of the mission will be
Or pull a trigger. I'm trying to rid crime and corruption. Hey, y'all, I'm super nigga. Power, peace, brotherhood, love, togetherness. I can't leap tall buildings at a single bound. And when I try to take off, my feet returns to the ground. It really hurts me to confess the truth. I bruise easily. I'm not bulletproof. I can't even see through a cheap hotel wall. And when I take off my glasses, I can't see at all. People, would you please understand? I need your help. I'm no white TV Superman. I thought I could wipe out dope single-handedly, but I was only dreaming visions of childhood fantasy. I thought the good guys wearing white hats would always win, not the bad guys pushing white smack, spreading crime and sin. Dope leading to sin and crime is in every black neighborhood. And little black kids laugh at me saying, super nigga ain't no good. Pushers smuggling dope, riding in cruisers and jet planes, supplying deadly heroin for black and white junkies' veins. Seems like the white hero, Superman, always devises some unique crime-solving plan to save good people from distress and make headlines in the daily press. But me, a messy, chocolate cheap imitation of some white hero, when it comes to ending dope, my score is always 0. Don't let me go down in comic book history as a failure. Do I have to commit suicide and be pushing up azaleas? My plea is for everyone to halt dope traffic everywhere. Then we all can be real life heroes because we care. If you know a pusher, let them know that we don't love it. Remember, Super Nigga says, tell the pusher to shove it. Leaning post. We didn't know you followed us to my secluded place, anxiously watching as I wiped the rain of tears from her nose and face and walked my fingers through her hair as she nervously held my hand, trying not to lose her composure, knowing that I would understand. I unbuttoned my shirt as she kicked off her shoes and gently placed her head on my shoulder, feeling at ease to cry the blues. No doubting, peeping Tom, we didn't have a love affair. When she's upset, I bring her here to ease her despair. It's really you she digs the most. I only comfort her. I am her leaning post. The foul things you do are tearing her apart. As a service to womankind, I'm trying to mend her broken heart. I help her to deal with the likes of you, patiently listening to what you put her through. Often, I see you goofing as I pass by. You got a good woman who loves you, not this sympathetic guy. Now we know you've been peeping through the open window, listening and watching and waiting with a stick and a gun, ready to do some annihilating. To your surprise, no love affair. We're really not having any fun. And the only things wet are her eyes and my shoulder she's crying on. It's really you she needs the most. I only comfort her. I am her leaning post. Thank you. Take your doctor's advice. I guess as a poet, it could be anything from Superman to a doctor. One of my patients is under critical risk. Her husband treats her as she doesn't exist. She's given up the hope it takes to survive. If he doesn't love her, she won't be alive. She devoted her life to pleasing him, making sacrifices to appease his every whim. All that interests him was his vanity, and that almost drove her to insanity. Now she's all mixed up and lies dying, and he's upset and is now crying. He asked me, what could he do? My advice, just be faithful and true. Be sincere and give her tender, loving care. And when she needs you, be right there. Give her courage, confidence, and love. And she won't need pills, shots, and blood. You caused the emotional problems that made her sick. Her condition is known as psychosomatic. Just love her and show her that living can be fun. Just love her and she'll need no medication. Her temperature will be down and her pressure won't be high or low. She'll be a new person, healthy, with face aglow. The future of her life is in your hand, and you will save her if you're a real man. Simply love her and treat her nice. Would you please take your doctor's advice? In the meantime, I know you want to find that certain special guy who will fulfill your every prayer and fantasy. My situation is so complex, you would last but just so long with me. I may not be the best lover you have had, or one day hope to find, but I know I can keep you satisfied and smiling happily in the meantime. I don't love you enough to settle down or to be your one and only, but I love you too much to let you go to some dude who will leave you sad and lonely, thinking he would be that wonderful, nice guy, only to learn you've been told another lie. I don't want you to make a fool of yourself and be caught in such a bind. Give yourself a chance to find that Mr. Right guy, but let me be the one to love you in the meantime. When a woman is desperately searching for real true love, she's easy prey for promises of a rain and the stars above. Some dudes will take you for a pushover, treating your true love carelessly. But if you got a man, they'll understand and you'll be spared some misery. We can sit down and rap about this love game openly, because you know I intend to remain single and free. We both have been through those hurt and painful years, hoping for the right someone to come along and dry the tears. But all I want to do is to see you smile again and be satisfied with love, my friend. We won't solve all your problems or mine, but we can be making sweet love in the meantime. Now,
I heard that.
Now, this is a poem I had the occasion to read on Channel 62 a few weeks ago. Don't give them your flowers when they treat them like weeds. Your flowers are so beautiful. You give them tender, loving care. Their fragrance is so delightful, like rare perfume in the air. You spend a lifetime in your garden, working hard every day, growing flowers for the hair, lapel, windowsill, or for a bouquet. Sometimes you give them to a relative or a friend, but how often you pass by the broken-spirited and depressed on your way to the influential with your flowers of happiness. Don't give them your flowers when they treat them like weeds. Don't give them your flowers when they treat them like weeds. You want fame and fortune? Yes, you really want to get over. So foolishly, you gave them your lucky four-leaf clover. They burnt it before your eyes in a flower-shaped ashtray and laughed at you as you cried and wilted away. They know what you can do. Your work is among the best. Still, they put you to test after agonizing test. Don't give them your flowers when they treat them like weeds. Don't give them your flowers when they treat them like weeds. Why is it so important to be accepted by them when they don't care about you and you're trying to revive your crushed flowers of tears, soggy as mist and dew? May I suggest that you be careful, wise, and strong, and not be afraid to share your flowers with those of the broken spirit who need your tender, loving care. And if you make strong and fresh human flowers once filled with decay, the spirit of goodness may bless you with a life beautiful as your favorite bouquet. I'm going to do a little plug now. The next two poems I'm going to do are from the anthology of Poetry Detroit. It is available for sale on the table. And all of the poems that I'm doing this afternoon are in the poetry bag. And we do have some copies of that on sale for only $1.50. They talk. Two groups of people were angry. They did not agree with each other. They came to a meeting prepared to fight. Each person carried a concealed weapon. It was understood that only one person would talk at a time, and that everyone would have a time to talk. They talked, and they talked. As each person talked, the rest of them listened, and they heard, and they understood. They reached a consensus, and they talked. They started a plan, and they talked. They initiated positive action, and they talked, and they talked, and they talked. Remember, both groups came to the meeting angry, with concealed weapons, prepared to fight. Instead, they talked, and talked, and talked. Because each person would listen, everybody could hear. Since everyone heard, it was easy for all to understand both sides. The problem before them was compound and complex. Their weapons remained concealed, and together they solved the compound, complex problem because they reached a consensus, they charted a plan, they initiated positive action, and they talked, and they talked. As each person talked, the rest of them listened, and they heard, and they understood. No sugar shortage here. I want to ask the volunteers to stand. The price of refined white sugar is much higher than it should be. Fight inflation, honey. Boycott the sweet rip-off and get your sugar from me. The only price you have to pay is some sweet attention to me every day. I'll wake you each morning with kisses, sweet enough to eat, that will improve the taste of your herb tea and cereal of whole wheat. Before I leave for work, you share some sweet love with honey dripping from our lips. With that kind of natural energy for the energy crisis, you'll need nothing sweet to sip. I'll trust you along with a cup of sugar. I know you'll be true and not let that high-priced sweet rip-off make a fool of you. Refined white sugar can make you fat, ruin your blood, and give you a toothache that'll make you cry. Honey is better for you, but it is priced too high. If the sweetness you want, honey, I'm your best buy. You're my honey and spice and everything nice. And I'm gonna sweet talk and sweet love you to sleep, my dear, and convince you there is no sugar shortage here. We don't make much money, but we sure have lots of fun. I think that's my theme song. Staying high, making noise, throwing trash around, and ripping each other off. Seems like that's all they do. I'm so glad I got myself together and moved out of building number 2. I'm so pleased that I moved to building number 1. We don't make much money, but we sure have lots of fun. Now those other folks, the high and mighty ones, who work and connive all day with no time to enjoy life, their family, or their money. I don't want to live like them either. That's why I didn't move to building number 3. I'm so pleased I moved to building number 1. We don't make much money, but we sure have lots of fun. Over here, we work hard, and we study too, but we take time to celebrate life, appreciate nature, enjoy family and friends, help others, and partake of wholesome food and recreation. The people over here got their heads on straight. They're going places. I'm so pleased that I moved to building number 1. We don't make much money, but we sure have lots of fun. You probably know some people like the fellow in this poem. We can't wake him by the same tune that put him to sleep. His clock radio is blasting with the digital time lit, but try to arouse him. He'll have a fit. He'll just pull the covers over his head, acting like he's made to his bed. Can't find a job, wants to be super hip, won't go to school. Think he can make it on his charms, looks, and a slick game of pool. Well, we can't seem to reach him. We can shout, fuss, put our head in our hands and weep, but we can't wake him by the same tune and put him to sleep. Don't give him the same old lecture, quote the same old verse, and put him down in the same old way. We'll sound like another snap your finger, shuffle your foot tune he listens to every day. Ask his favorite DJ to pick a song that reaches beneath the surface, to the inner self, to the self-consciousness, a tune that will wake up his mind. This young man has come of age. He wants to put his life together. He really doesn't want to sleep away the time. We can shout, fuss, put our head in our hands and weep, but we can't wake him by the same tune that put him to sleep. To wind on down to the last few poems, I'd like to take you on a trip to wonderful, wonderful Wonderland. I'm upset because I care. Alice, something's wrong somewhere. Were you really in wonderful, wonderful Wonderland? Or are you flying around with Peter Pan? The jolly green giant wears a frown. Somebody pushed Humpty Dumpty down. Peter had a wife and couldn't keep her. Heard you creeping in. I'm not a heavy sleeper. Your weird-looking friends give me the creeps, those fairies, goblins, witches, and freaks. Alice, were you really in wonderful, wonderful Wonderland? Or were you flying and lying around with Peter Pan? Oh, you used to be such a sweet lass, but you changed after smoking that grass. Your fairy godmother would be ashamed of you, and Mother Goose would have a few choice words too. Rumor has it that you're calling Peter Pan Sweet Peter for something. Besides, I saw your big bad wolf puffing at you, looking like little Miss Muffet, while your best friend, Mary, quite contrary, for spite, turned our son into a fairy. Hey, this is the last straw, the one that broke the camel's back. Cool it, Alice. I'll go live in a house built by Jack. Yeah, your man Jack. Well, he won't be nimble, and he won't be quick. When I go upside his head with a candlestick, you know how to treat me very well, ain't putting you in no pumpkin shell. And Alice, one more thing I gotta say to you. You better stop calling me Little Boy Blue. Thank you. Do I have to live like this? Today, times are hard. Good jobs are few. Even computers are looking for work to do. When liquor and drugs for many are a way of life, it's no small wonder we're losing folks via gun and knife. Pushes at parties and on the street, liquor stores on too many corners. If I depend on them to exist, I ask my wretched self, do I have to live like this? Do they supply junk because I demand? Or do I demand junk because they supply? Are these scapegoats for our pleasure or only to bring us heartaches and pain? Remaining sober, I could see through this silly game. Am I caught in a thunderstorm thinking it's only a light rain but mist? I ask my wretched self, do I have to live like this? In rugged, bygone years, my people, poor and proud, have done so much with so little. And by comparison, I have had so much, yet have done so little. I tried to keep up with the Joneses and ended up with a Jones I couldn't keep up with. If Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, Christopher Atkins, Denmark Beasley, Nat Turner, Frederick Douglass, and others too numerous to list could rise above slavery and oppression, teaching their people the evils they had to resist, then I ask my wretched self, do I have to live like this? Did I let Hollywood and Madison Avenue turn my American dream to a nightmare while I lie stretched out on the sidewalk with children dancing around me singing, is he sick? Is he asleep? Is he drunk? Is he drugged? Is he dead? What a shame. Let's call the police to take him away so we can play another game. When I think of the many strong Afro-Americans who were their own analysts, I ask my wretched self, do I have to live like this? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let me close with this subject that I think most of us think about one time or another. This one I call Absence Makes the Heart Grow Fonder, or could it be sex? When we're together, we're not together. When we're apart, we get along better. While you are away from me, I'm so lonely, so unhappy. Living together for days, we don't even speak. Thousands of miles apart, I call you every week. And when I could stand it no longer, I decided to wander, then compelled to return, because absence makes the heart grow fonder. This must be love's greatest mystery. I don't want to stay or be set free. When you're near me, I don't want you any longer. But the day after I leave, my love grows, oh, so much stronger. You curse me out, telling me to go away. And before I leave, you beg me to stay. But I walk out, slamming the door, shouting, I don't want to see you anymore. Then I hurry and catch the next plane, wondering why I keep such a busy day. When I arrive at my lonely destination, after much mental stress and aggravation, I go somewhere and rest for a week or two, and then my aching heart longs for only you. Another woman never even crosses my mind. But when I'm with you, it's like doing time. I know I'm wrong, and I hate to be so mean, but I can't leave you, I can't stay, and there's no place in between. And when I can stand it no longer, I decide to wander, then compelled to return, because absence makes the heart grow fonder, or could it be sex? Everybody for coming out. I know we have bad weather, you know, and I appreciate everybody coming out and so many of my friends and relatives are here. It just makes me feel very good. Thank you all.
Wardell will be autographing his book at the table over there afterward. There's hot water for coffee and tea. If you had some of the cheesecake and liked it, the number where you can order from Miss Sheila Harrell, another cheesecake is 897-8015. 897-8015. Wardell mentioned his family. I think we should recognize him, Wardell's grandmother. And Wardell's mother and father. Wardell's cousin. Wardell's brother. Uncle, with me. Jackie Montgomery. Where's Jackie Montgomery? Oh, hold on. I'm so the Mighty Mountains was there a couple of months ago. Last month.
Maybe the life and don't miss me.
Didn't time leave last month? Yeah. The month before, Maggie Matthews was there in April. And at the Michigan Festival of Poets, one of our poets is going to be reading poetry in the Michigan Poets series. Anna Kosicili, Gloria House. There's a beautiful poet over there, Paula White. Sheila Harrell not only knows how to make good cheesecake, she just had a poem accepted for the literary magazine at Wayne State University. I'm sitting with Ms. Harrell. Sarah Cruz has just published a book of poetry she'll be reading next year in the Broadside Poet series. And there is a lady that's read several times before. Sharon Smith, next. Right in here. Do the best. Reads next month. I hope you got the blue flyer on the table. The first Sunday, that's June the 5th in May, 4 p.m. She's an author of the lyrics one, and she'll be reading new poems as well as poems from her book. Did I forget anybody? Oh, yeah. You see, young poet, stand up. Young poet member of our poets workshop. There are no poets in the workshop. One day you'll be hearing from them. And we invite you all to come back to the workshop. I'd like to make an announcement about a new project. Will Tony come up and tell us about it?
Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tony Ennis, and I'm representing a company called Gethsemane 84, based in Flint, Michigan. It's a black production firm, and our latest project within the last 3 years is called Black Biography. Perhaps some of you might have heard it on WJLB. It was aired last year on their radio station during Black History Month. It is a series of tapes, docudramas of blacks in almost every field of endeavor. Dealing with Gwendolyn Brooks, Tony Brown, Jim Beckworth, Clifford Fears, the list goes on. And we're very pleased to become a member and a part of Broadside here. And we hope you check us out. We're right over here at this table. We have a series of tapes, a set of tapes over there that you can take a look at, and also some flyers telling where you can send off for the tapes if you're interested in any other information that you'd like to know about Gethsemane. Thank you very much.
One of the books is one of the poets from this series of poetry and biography. Stella Cruz has a poem. You'll be hearing her on the tape. And we'll post it so you can see it. And we will be selling at our bookstore. Wardell is available for autographing his brown bags. And thank you so much for coming out in this rain. And come again next month to hear Fill the Best.
Only Jim. Not a dog in the That's right. Just left out Montgomery. Now you know. You got some good men in. You got your choice.
Now, you know I've been Montgomery since before you got here. He wasn't here.
When I was 5 years old,